Welcome, everyone, to the Up on the Soapbox podcast. This is episode 36, and boy, oh boy, do we have a great show for you today. I'm your co-host. My name is Brett Schaefer. With me is my partner, Dan Piggott, also a co-host, co-founder, all kinds of co-everything, because we are a team, aren't we? Dan, I'm switching it up today. I got
Oh
a new
no.
question for you.
Oh no.
Let's look forward to the College World Series. We got the College
Oh.
World Series coming up. I know you're a baseball guy to some degree.
Mhm.
We've had talks before about how you enjoy the College World Series. What are your thoughts on this year? You know, we're heading into the Super Regional weekend. I know that might date this because we're not releasing it for another week or so, but nonetheless, let's have that discussion. Go ahead.
Well, you're putting me right on the spot because I don't even know who's in it right now.
Well,
I
all
did.
that matters is the number 4 Virginia Tech Hokies are taking on
Oh,
Oklahoma.
I see
That's
where you're
all you
going
need to
with
know.
this. That I should have taken the bait. I'm so sorry. Please let's talk Hokie baseball for 20 minutes
Let's do that.
instead of speaking to our
All
distinguished
right,
guest.
fine. You're really a bummer on these
Oh
questions.
my
I
God.
guess I'll have to step up my game. All right, with us today, as I said, great guest. We have a soapboxer, distributor member. Lots of interesting background and history with her. We learned about her by reading our soapbox profiles, where we give everybody an opportunity to kind of showcase a little bit of their personality. And this will not disappoint. I can promise you that. With us today, we have Gaye Ribble. She is the owner of Standout Marketing Strategies out of Spokane.
Spokane.
Spokane, Washington. You know, it's spelled Spokane, but I'll go with Spokane since you now live there. She's with us today, and she's got a great story to tell. So I'm going to just turn it over to Gaye, and I'm going to stop talking because what we're going to find out is Gaye knows how to speak a whole lot better than I do.
That was really fun. So today I really wanted to kind of talk about how I got into the industry. I love hearing the stories of how people got in. My story is pretty unusual. I was an actor, singer, dancer for 25 years. And as an actor, singer, dancer, you do not work all the time. I don't know if you knew that. It's not something where you can say, oh, I'm just going to go do this right now and make money. People have to hire you constantly. So you always need a side hustle. And I kind of fell into the promotional products industry through my original side hustle, which was an event planning company called An Affair to Remember. And it was pretty famous in Los Angeles for about 20 years. And then I kind of graduated from that, finding the promotional products industry. I actually had, because I was in the entertainment industry, I actually had one of the studios ask me if I could do some holiday gifts for them. I was doing Christmas cards at the time just to make some extra money. And I had been doing that since I was a little kid. And I said, oh, sure, I can do a holiday gift. I had no idea how to do it. So I went downtown into Los Angeles. I fibbed my way into the gift mart, and I found all of these great suppliers that were there. And some of them had this other side of the business that was called promotional marketing. Well, I was actually doing the business for a while without knowing that there was this actual full other industry that was there. I was looking for one of my suppliers, and they said, well, they're down at the Los Angeles Convention Center at this convention. And I went, oh, okay. So I just went down there to go find them, and they wouldn't let me in. And I said, no, but I have a supplier who's in there. They said, no, sorry, you have to join. Well, at that time, to join our industry, it was $2,500 or so. It was a lot, and it was something that I just took on faith. I literally had a credit card, a brand new credit card with me, and I put that credit card down, and they said, okay, great. Now you have to give us. You have to have at least 10 suppliers that you've been working with. And you also have to show us that you've actually been doing business. So you need to show us invoices. So I had to go home. I had to print anything out. And I really needed to see the supplier on this project I was working. So then I finally get the keys to be able to walk into the convention, and I opened up the door, and it is like Alice in Wonderland. I said, oh my goodness, everything I could possibly ever want is here. Because I had been looking in the yellow pages, and I mean, I just didn't know. And I was like that first time distributor who finally finds the industry. I got the yardstick and, you know, all the stuff for free, and I carrying the bags out, and it was really bad. But I really started learning about the industry, and they also had such great classes. And I learned very quickly, and I started getting really good at it. And I started working with the most of the studios when they had home video. And I was doing a lot of the on-packs for home video, which was really fun. Now I'm still acting. Remember, the promotional marketing is my side hustle. I'm still doing commercials. I'm still doing television shows. I'm doing stage shows. I have all that stuff happening. And then one day I'm in my 40s and I'm at a commercial audition, and I'm talking to a supplier on my phone, and I'm looking at the copy, and I'm on the phone, I'm looking at the copy, and I'm looking at the copy. And I finally said, I'm done. I knew that I was done. I knew that the promotional marketing was now my business. This was my career. I was going to kind of hang up the tap shoes, and it was time to have a grown-up job. And I went to the casting director. I said, thank you so much, but you know, I'm done. Call my agent. Thank you so much. I'm done. So that was 30 years ago.
Do you remember what the commercial was for?
Yes, it was for Right Guard.
Okay.
And the line was, and the setup line was, I need new Right Guards double deodorant protection fast.
Don't we all?
It wasn't the kind of thing that I went, do I really want to be in a Right Guard commercial? So I was better at the musical commercials.
Well, just as importantly, did you get the order that was on the other
Oh
phone?
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah. So there was, because the studios at that time were, I mean, we were doing huge orders. So I had one order that was $1 million order.
Wow.
So
wow, that's big money.
Yeah, it was
30 years ago.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. And I was lucky to really work in the entertainment industry in that capacity for 18 years.
What does that mean, $1 million order? I mean, you know, without divulging any, you know, secrets or whatever, I mean, is that multiple products over a long period of time, or is that just
it was 1 million items, and they're a dollar a piece.
Wow.
That's
so
incredible.
was that an on-pack? That was one of those on-pack things?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. The days of video. So what do you do with Netflix? You can't unpack
digital.
anything with Netflix.
Exactly.
No, that whole, I mean, everything changed, you know, when that whole industry went away. There were some adjustments that, you know, obviously that we had to do, and we totally changed how we showed up as distributors. We became more of a, I mean, I was affiliated with some larger companies, and we had a big team that we worked with and so forth. And when we stopped working with the entertainment industry, we started really working more as a boutique, almost agency, because we had been around for so long. You know, I always like to say, I know where the bodies are buried, and I love to be able to help my clients to really show up as the best they can be. You know, really to what's your story? What makes you better? Why should somebody order from you than from somebody else? And let's tell your story that way. So we have clients that we have had for 25 years. So they're very loyal to us. They only work with us. And how we get new clients is they recommend us. And they're very careful about recommending us.
So in reading your bio, you come from an incredible entertainment pedigree. I mean, going way back to silent film.
Yeah, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that. Just highlight some of the things that
Sure.
your family has done along the way.
So my grandfather was a matinee idol on Broadway and a movie star. He also had a star on the Walk of Fame for radio, TV, and movies. And his name is Otto Kruger. he married my grandmother, Sue Kruger, who was also on Broadway. My mother, Ottilie Kruger, was on Broadway and also on Broadway with her dad. So that was a pretty amazing legacy. My dad was an award-winning cinematographer, and he did Star Trek Wrath of Khan, the best Star Trek.
Very cool.
Yeah, so that was amazing. Got to be on the set every day, and it was like a dream come true for a Trekkie.
Mm.
And my grandfather on my father's side was a cinematographer. My other grandmother was in silent films. My sister Dee Dee is still acting, Dee Dee Rescher, and you'd recognize her from in the early days. Remember Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
Sure do.
Of course.
Okay, very last scene, the bus driver.
That's great.
That's my sister.
It's
Oh,
a
no
great
way.
scene too. Iconic.
It is. It's a
Yeah.
fabulous scene, and she's so funny in it.
That's
And then she just, I'm really proud of her. She stuck it out. She always says, well, it's because I can't do anything else. And it's not true, but she's still at it and still getting work. She does a lot of voiceovers for Disney. So I'm very proud of her.
So
Well,
speaking of still at it, you have your an upcoming gig. You want to tell us all about that?
I do. So
wait a minute now. Do you not know how to retire? What's going on here?
I don't know what retiring is.
Okay, fair enough.
No, I don't. I mean, it's kind of interesting. I really haven't done a musical show in 30 years. And a gal I met here in Spokane a while ago, we hit it off really well at an event. She called me about a month ago and she said, I have this idea for a musical show, and I was wondering if you'd be in it. And I really felt like I kind of manifested that, because I'd been itching to do something.
Mm.
And I have always said to everybody, because you kind of preface this, people say, why aren't you still acting? Why aren't you still singing? Why aren't you doing so? I said, oh, I'm waiting to be a golden girl.
Mm.
Well, I'm past being a golden girl. So, so I figured this is an opportunity, and we're kind of crafting this show. It's called What She Said, 5 divas. We're all from different decades. I'm the oldest, and I'm the Broadway diva. Duh. and I'm really excited about it. It's going to be kind of a feminine perspective, and it's going to be funny and fun and poignant, and just a wonderful evening of music with some great gals.
When does it open, or when do you start?
It's going to be July 16th, and it's in Post Falls, Idaho. And if it goes well, who knows where we'll end up.
Look at this. Don't miss any Soapbox events with this, though.
No, I won't.
You have to set your priorities, Gaye.
Soapbox events.
So do you have, so this is just wonderful. I'm trying to think, do we have any other soapboxers with their own Wikipedia entry? That's what I was wondering. You said, Brett's like, I looked at the profile, there's a Soapbox profile. I'm like, go ahead and just look at the Wikipedia profile. And so some of your movies are listed, like a Mr. Mom and 8 is Enough, and of course all the others. How about do you have any, like a single story of a Michael Keaton story? Did you meet Michael Keaton?
I actually have a great Michael Keaton story. And it's so funny because you didn't even know that I had one.
No, I did not.
So the Mr. Mom was directed by Stan Rigotti. And Stan Rigotti hadn't done a film in about 5 years, but he had been doing a lot of television commercials. And there was a bunch of us that we kind of called ourselves the Rigotti players, because he always cast the same people for his commercials. And I was lucky enough to be one of the people that he would cast all the time. So we didn't have to audition for this movie. Literally, he called and said, hey, I'm going to do a movie. I'd like you to be in it. I don't know what part it'll be yet, but would you do it? Well, of course. Not only is it a job, but we're all working together again. So this is not only Stan, who's a great director, but his entire crew is the crew that we always had for all of our commercials. It's a family. It was so much fun to be on the set. Well, the day that I was shooting, I actually had a third callback for a a major part. And it was in the afternoon. And I said, is there any way that we can shoot my stuff early so that I can get out in time to go to it? And because it's a family situation, they said, oh, of course, we'll put that together first. Now, this was Michael Keaton's first day on the set. So he's getting ready and so forth, but they're putting on my makeup. They're getting me all ready. They're going to, okay, let's shine the lights on Gaye. Because since my dad is a cinematographer, the cinematographer there knows who he is. They're going to make sure that I'm lit really well. That was another advantage that was there. So, they're lighting me, and this is not a big part.
Right.
And Michael Keaton is looking around going, who is this girl? What the heck? And I mean, he really was making a funny bit out of it. And we laughed. We actually got to finish the scene in time. He's cracking up about it. He apparently told the story on the Tonight Show, which was interesting, because he said, it's my first day of shooting and there's this girl there. They all know her. They know her by name. She knows every single person's name. I don't know anybody. They're shooting her first. It was really fun. And then it was probably, I want to say it was it's about 20 years later. And I ran into Michael with his kids at a haunted house. And we were right outside the haunted house. And I said, Michael, I said, hi, Gaye Kruger, my professional name at the time. I said, Gaye Kruger, I was in, and he said, Mr. Mom, you're the girl, you're the one. And it was really great to kind of catch up with him again. He totally remembered the story. He said, I talk about you all the time. My first day on one of the most important movies, that really jump-started my career. And I was Mr. Nobody. Yeah, it was fun.
That's great. Instead of Mr. Mom, he was Mr. Nobody for an hour anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, that was while you were doing your. That's just wonderful. It really is neat. What about going way back now? You also mentioned, and I'm just going back to some of my notes here. You started out in the event business. Did you work on any of the Hollywood events? I mean, did you work on any of or was it a different type of event business back then?
I did some Hollywood weddings.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And if I ever do the tell-all book, probably those stories will be in them. And some of them were lovely. Some of them were terrific. Some of them, I had some bridezillas.
I was going to say bridezillas before that term even existed.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to guess Liz Taylor, just because, I mean, she had 12 of them, right?
No,
so,
I would have been way too young.
Okay, fair enough.
Gaye only did 4 of her weddings. That's it.
Yeah,
that's right.
I would have been way too young. But it was I did some corporate events. I did some events, some more of the inside events for. It's like I work with Carsey Warner a lot, Marcy Carsey, and we created some events for them for their employees. Marcy Carsey and Tom Warner did, Third Rock from the Sun, that 70s show, it's 25 years of some of the greatest comedies on TV.
Yeah.
So last thing I want to ask, I see you grew up on the East Coast. I'm guessing that, and then relocated to LA when you were pursuing your acting career, I'm assuming, and then somehow got up to Washington. So how does that movement work?
Okay, so how that happened, I was born in Long Island.
Long Island.
Yeah, and I was born in Long Island. So I was talking like this up until I was about 11 years old. And I kept saying, Mom, we got to go to dancing school. My mom was absolutely horrified. And so she moved us to Greenwich, Connecticut, where we could say dancing school. And because you have to say dancing school when you're going to dancing school in Long Island. So we
forget about it.
Yeah. So we moved to Greenwich. I went to high school there, ended up in going to a famed school called Interlochen Arts Academy in Michigan. And I had 1 year there. And then I went to New York, and I was in New York, and I went to Neighborhood Playhouse and studied with the great acting teacher, Sandy Meisner. And then I started auditioning for shows in New York, and I'd audition for a show and I'd get it and it'd send me out of town. And I'd audition for a show and I'd get it and it'd send me out of town. And that just kind of kept happening. And I was doing a show in Florida. I just finished doing Where's Charlie at the Orlando Civic Light Opera. And I had let my lease go on my apartment in New York. My mom and my little sister had just moved to California. I said, well, I'll go and see them for a little bit and figure out what I'm going to do next. Went to see them. My little sister went to the store and pulled this little 4-page newspaper that was called the Dramalog. And that was before Dramalog was a big deal. And they were just getting started. It had an advertisement for a new theater in Los Angeles called the McGaw Theater. And they were casting for Little Mary Sunshine. And everybody had always told me, oh, you're such a Little Mary Sunshine. I didn't know the show, but I knew that probably meant, that I was right for the show. So I went, I auditioned, I got the role, and I started doing Los Angeles theater for 15 years. And every time I did a show, a theater show, I got a television show, or I got another commercial, or it just led to so many other things. It was phenomenal. Oh, one of the things from the theater that's kind of a good sidebar is the television show Candid Camera. They hired some of us from the theater to do a setup it was a musical comedy setup in a diner, a trucker's diner. And I played the waitress. And my whole thing was that it was my first day, and I would serve coffee, and the coffee tasted awful. It had salt in it. And I was trying to get them to drink it anyway because I was going to lose my job.
Oh my God.
And then
can we find that?
Yes, I think it's out. Somebody told me they saw it. I have not seen it yet.
Okay.
But what happens is then somebody comes up to one of the guys and says to them, "Are you having a tough day?" And then we start singing, and then people are tap dancing on top of the counter, and everybody gets up from the booths and they're starting. So the guy all of a sudden is in a musical comedy number. And then we go into when it's least expected, you're elected, you're the star today. And then we're showing them where the camera is. Everything went great with everyone except one guy who wanted to punch us out. So that one didn't get on the air.
And that's the one everybody wants to see.
Everyone wants to see that one. Yeah.
Gaye Ribble, thanks so much for being with us today. Really entertaining. We enjoyed your story and your movement, your career path into promo. Very unusual. So you may be the only one. We have yet to really dig in and find any more. But right now, we're just going to proclaim you're the only one. So we appreciate you having you. We appreciate you being part of our Soapbox community as well. And look forward to doing this again. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much.